Hi everybody and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review. My name is Rich and today I'm really excited because it's May 4th and in honor of Star Wars Day I have two beers. Now they are both the same beer. It's called Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away. And this is by Gusto Brewing in North Cape May, New Jersey. And they have brewed an Imperial Stout at 9% ABV. And they've done this in conjunction with Out There Coffee, and I've talked about Out There Coffee before on this channel, a great coffee shop in the middle of Cape May. So this is an Imperial Stout that is built upon a base of proximity, mild, and flaked oats, a chorus of specialty malts, and it's supposed to have some hint of maple to it and vanilla. So I'm really excited about this one. Now this is also Out There in a Galaxy Far Away, but this is from last year. Now I bought a bunch of it last year, and it was fantastic. And I was just new to messing around with the whole idea of a crowler. So I put this in my fridge, it's been cold the whole time, and I wanted to compare the 2021 vintage to the 2022 vintage. I'm not sure if it's still going to be viable, if it lasted in the can or not. I've had some really bad luck with crowlers this year, so I'm hoping that this beer is good and the aging has done something to it. And we're going to come back to this, and this one was actually canned on 5/1 of last year, and it's 8.5% ABV. I remember it as being a very good, solid coffee stout. So I'm going to put this one to the side just for a minute, because like I said, that's the risky one. I don't know if the can has survived. It is firm, so I think the carbonation's okay. And generally speaking, I find if the carbonation's okay, the beer is probably okay as well. Alright, so let's give the 2022 version of this its proper due. And I love Gusto's can art. It's a very small brewery in North Cape May. Great place to go. I always pre-order before I go down. And as soon as you open this, you can start to smell sort of that great coffee flavor to this, which, I mean, it's a tribute to Out There and the coffee that they produce, that it comes out so clearly in this beer. And I know I'm not using exactly the right glass for this, but I'd like to be able to get a little bit more of an aroma out of this as I pour it, and enjoy the beer that way. And these cans are not the greatest for, a really, really soft pour. Now, whoops. So, very dark beer we have in front of us. It's great. Nice amount of carbonation, a good dark head to it. And again, this is 9% ABV, and right off the bat, the bar is filling with this great coffee aroma. It's got a wonderful nose on it. Even from here, I haven't even put my nose to the glass yet. Yeah, that's fantastic. So this, it has the odor of a good dark roasted coffee, and from what I've read, it's a dark roasted Colombian coffee that was used with this beer. So yeah, the coffee flavor is definitely there. At least based on the nose, there's going to be a heavy duty coffee flavor. I do get a little bit of sweetness there. I'm not sure if I'm getting vanilla. No, I think it is more maple. So yeah, let's put this for a side and let's see if the 2021 version survived. There was some carbonation there. Actually, some good carbonation there. And as I pour it, wonderful. This can made it the whole year. Here we are I'm filming this on May the 3rd. So this has been in the can a year, and like the can art, canned on 5/1. Again, this is 8.5 ABV, and I managed to get a little beer on me. Not quite as robust a nose on this. I don't know if it's that it's not quite as strong a coffee component to this one, or if the year has actually taken its toll on the flavors of this particular beer. So again, we're gonna put this aside. Good head on it, decent nose. Again, that really dark beer, a much lighter head than what came out of the 2022. And I don't remember the type of coffee that they used in the 2021, so we're gonna have to play that one by ear as we go through. Excuse me. Yes, definitely heavy coffee aroma, slight sweetness to it. It may be that maple. I'm getting maybe just a hint of vanilla. I'm not really sure, but you know, most important thing, let's see how it tastes. And that's excellent. Wow. You know, I remember last year's, and I'm gonna try it in a second, and it was a strong, good imperial stout, a nice malty flavor to it, and it's all there with this fantastic burst of coffee flavor that's coming with it, and right on the back end, it's just a hint. You're definitely getting a little of that maple and just a hint of vanilla. This is wonderful based on the first sip. It has a good mouthfeel. It's not super thick. It's not super, you know, super watery. The flavor clings to the mouth really well. This is outstanding. You know, I have to say, I'm a fan of Gusto. I've done a bunch of their beer reviews. They did an English mild a few months back. Again, without the coffee, it was fantastic. I tried their red ale and did a review of that a couple weeks ago. That was excellent. But this is on a whole nother level. This really is. I mean, it lives up to the name. This is definitely out there and above everything I've had of their excellent selection so far. This is dynamite. Now it has a pretty high ABV at 9%, but I'll also say this beer is a little dangerous because that alcohol is not obvious. I'm not getting any sort of burn as it goes down. I'm not getting any sort of burn in the throat or in the stomach. This is a type of beer that you could put this away and you wouldn't realize how much alcohol you've consumed. The alcohol is there. I think this is just a wonderful combination. Even the carbonation on this, spot on. Helps bring the flavor out, helps bring the aroma out once you take it out of the can. This is outstanding. And again, this is fresh. They released it a little bit early. So this was canned on 4/29 down at Gusto Brewery, and it's been in the fridge since then. All right, let's try last year's. The head's dissipated a little, but you know, when you look at it compared to this year's, not much. The lacing on both of them, it's really respectable. Definitely clinging to the glass. Again, only a 0.5 difference in the alcohol content here. Don't want to get them confused. The nose on last year's is not as pronounced as this year's. And again, I don't know if that's the original beer. I remember the beer being very flavorful. I don't remember drinking it for a review, so I'm not sure if the nose was quite as strong. There's definitely the coffee flavor there. Actually, you know what? Let me rinse out my mouth a little bit. I want to give this beer a very fair shot. I'm just impressed, honestly, that the carbonation has lived. You know, last year's is a little more bitter, a little bitterness on the back of the tongue. I enjoy that. I like it. The coffee flavor is not as pronounced as this year, and I have this really sad feeling that it just dissipated a little bit over the course of the year. It's still an excellent beer. I want to make that clear. Last year's, I was so impressed when it came out. It was the first time that I had tried it by Gusto. In fact, I think it was the first beer I had tried by Gusto Brewery, and I thought it was excellent. And I do still think this is an excellent beer. It's a little less complex. I don't get the notes of maple. I don't get the vanilla notes that I got on the original one. The coffee notes are still there. It's done reasonably well in the fridge. I mean, it's been at about 45 degrees for the entirety of the year, but the coffee flavor's there. There's some bitterness there, a little bit more. than in the original, than in the 2022 version of it. So I will say, I think that this has survived really, really well. Now, I bought 4 cans of the 2022, which after my Crowler nightmares this year, I'm going to be sharing them and drinking them much sooner than this, and I doubt any of this is gonna make it till next year, but I'm really glad that this one survived to compare it, because I will tell you, last year's Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away by Gusto Brewing was excellent. Again, 8.5 ABV, fantastic beer. But when you compare it to this year's beer, it's a little underdeveloped. This year's beer, you get this wonderful complexity of the coffee, a little sweetness on the back end, not an overwhelmingly heavy, boozy beer. This year, Gusto has done just a phenomenal job in conjunction with Out There Coffee, making a beer that I have to tell you, I think I could drink this every single night. It's that good. It's definitely a sipping beer, but only because you know how high the alcohol content is. Otherwise, this is something that you could drink several glasses of, and quite frankly, I think it would sneak up on you, but this is outstanding. If you happen to be down in Cape May, New Jersey, particularly North Cape May, New Jersey, where Gusto Brewery is, I really recommend that you stop there, get a pint, try it out, get one of these cans that they make, and take it with you, because it is an outstanding beer. Good flavor, good alcohol content on it without it being overwhelming. The carbonation is spot on, and quite honestly, if you've tried Gustos out there before, this is such how do I put it? I don't want to say step up, because the original one was outstanding, but this really is just such a good, complex beer that you can't help but be impressed by how far it's come in just this 1 year. And again, I realize that this is a year old, and maybe that's had some impact on the flavor, but even now, a year later, this is a very good beer. That, however, the 2022 is outstanding. So if you're out there on May the 4th, you should try to stop by Gusto Brewery, grab some of their Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away in 2022. This vintage is excellent, and can't recommend it with enough enthusiasm. It's a great beer. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this beer tonight slowly. And if you're down in Cape May, New Jersey, and you get a chance, stop by Gusto Brewery, pick it up. Follow us on the other social media outlets that are linked down below. Subscribe, like, follow, and any comments are welcome. Have a good night.